grab your name. So, good morning. It's 9 a.m. I believe we had a class scheduled at 9 a.m. Would it be okay if I begin? Wonderful. Awesome. Excellent. So, welcome. Thank you so much for being here on time. We get started on time every time with Ignite because we treat it kind of like an appointment, right? Yeah. And I would definitely show up. In fact, that's the conversation, the script that we have when we show up to a listing appointment. We say, it's 9 a.m. sharp. We had an appointment at 9 a.m. May I come in? Pointing out what?
You're on time.
You're on time. Absolutely. Don't use that script if it's 9:05. That being said, very important to point out because a lot of agents are not on time, right? So let's let them know. All right. So welcome to Ignite. Ignite is a 12-session course created by Keller Williams University. It was authored by the KWU staff and with lots of input by millionaire real estate agents. So this is basically the how-tos of real estate. So yeah, welcome. We've got 4 of you in the room today. I just want to go around and introduce yourselves. Just say your name, and just because there's someone in the room that's going to have an impressive number, tell me how long you've been in real estate. Marcus, let me start.
I'm Marcus. I've been in real estate for about 2 years.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Bob Wills, and I've been in real estate for 13 years here on Maui.
Did you hear that?
13 years.
And he's in Ignite. That's the way to do it. Set yourself up for success. Very nice. Matthew.
My name is Matthew. I have not been a day-to-day agent at all, but I've been in real estate for 20 years through family investments and different real estate transactions.
Nice.
Good morning, I'm Shaylin, and I've been in real estate for 2 weeks. Right?
Yay! The newest one. There should be an award for that, right? Excellent, excellent. Well, welcome to everybody. My name is Nicole. I have been in real estate. I'm going to do my combined number, which is going to be 9 years. Had a little break in there, but that's a totally separate conversation. So, yeah. So Keller Williams is pretty amazing, and I love doing the teaching and training and coaching that we do here. So I say thank you for coming today, and let's start learning. So, as you're going to find, Ignite is really, Ignite, grab a notebook and your name. There you go. Ignite is very interactive. You're going to be doing a lot of things in the class. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you are?
Hunter.
Hunter, welcome Hunter.
Thank you.
Have a seat and let me get your notebook. Yep. There you go. Let me get your name tag. So as I was saying, Ignite is quite interactive. This is going to be a lot about you doing, not just me standing up here and talking, because we'd all be bored if that was happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to get your head in the game. So page 5, interesting it says page 5. My book says, and correct me if I'm wrong, page 7 is the one that says welcome to Ignite, get your head in the game, correct? Correct. Awesome, good. Okay, so just think that is page 7. All right, so I want you guys to take a look at these questions, and we're going to write some notes. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to go through these questions. The first one is, have you achieved your financial goals through your career so far? Why or why not? Number 2 is, what is the one thing that makes one real estate agent more successful than others? The next one is, why don't all agents do this? And the last one is your desire to succeed more powerful than your fear from doing the one thing that will make you successful? So take a couple minutes. Take a couple minutes to answer those questions so we can see where you guys are. Oh, that's good. Sorry about that. when you're done, just make sure you look up at me, give me a big old smile. Good. All right, let's wrap it up so we can discuss it. I'm curious what you guys came up with. All right, so number 1, have you achieved your financial goals through your career so far? Why or why not? Now is a really good time to talk about this space. So this is our Ignite space, right? So this is like Vegas, only it's not, because they say everything stays in Vegas, but then everybody comes home and brags about what they did in Vegas, right? So the reality is this room is our space to discuss things and get into our, thoughts that are coming up, how we're feeling about things, all that. So this is a good spot to do that. So I'm gonna ask you that question again. So have you achieved your financial goals through your career so far? Why or why not? What do you guys think? Talk to me.
No?
No.
Is it all no's?
Well, I did in another field, but
Okay.
I was not fulfilled in that field, so I chose to work on this field
I
instead.
wrote that too.
Yeah.
Cool. Isn't that interesting?
I said yes, but I want more now.
The level has changed.
Well, yeah, and then you're like, oh, if I can do this, then I want more.
There you go, right? And for some, it's the more fulfillment piece, right? And that's why we love Keller Williams, because it is all about creating a life by design, right? So we even have a class called BOLD. Does anybody know what BOLD stands for?
Oh.
It's business objective, a life by design. That is what BOLD actually stands for. So, all right, so what is the one thing that makes one real estate agent more successful than others?
So hard.
Yes.
I put a few things.
Okay.
Having a clear vision and business plan, seeing this as a business, not a hobby, following proven models and principles, mentorship, never stop learning, growing, and evolving your business.
I love all of that. That is fantastic. Anybody get anything else?
I just put motivation and goals. Like if you're
Excellent.
goal oriented and you're motivated to do it, then, but if you're like, do I want it? I don't know. Like you have to be motivated, you have to want it. And then boom, everything clears away and you're focused, right?
I like that too. What else do we get?
I put networking and communication.
Networking communication. There you go. Okay, so anybody else?
I put connecting and closing.
Connecting and closing. Okay.
A plan and follow through.
Plan and follow through. Okay.
Time and energy.
Time and energy. I like it. Bob, what'd you get?
I just put down working it.
Working it. Okay, I love it. Can I want permission from you guys to do something. I want to super dumb it down for you. Like the number 1. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
The answer is lead generate.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's it. All the other things are awesome and you need them because they are part of creating that life by design. But unless you lead generate, you have nothing. Right? I mean, that's the reality of our business. The difference between a successful agent and a non-successful agent is a successful agent is out there doing what? Lead generation. That's the reality, right? Those that are sitting back going, so I'm a realtor, so everyone I know now knows that I'm a realtor through osmosis and is going to call me when they need to do something. That's not it, right? We have to cultivate those relationships, and that's lead generation. Make sense to you guys? Awesome. Now, here's my question for you. Why don't all agents do that? Lead generate and all the other awesome things that you came up with, which create a pretty amazing business. Why don't all agents lead generate?
I think, it's one of those things where it's hard to stay motivated when one door closes in your face to reopen the door and try again. It can be discouraging if you feel like you're, staying
Absolutely, yes, yes. If you are focusing on the nose, it can be very discouraging, absolutely. And one of the things we want you to do is actually focus on showing up in contribution. So we don't want you calling people, hey, you wanna buy a house for me today? Hey, you wanna buy a house for me today? Hey, you wanna buy and then you're just gonna get, no, and why do they keep calling me, right? We wanna show up in contribution, right? Have conversations, create conversations. At the end of some of my conversations, I just simply say to people, don't forget, I'm in real estate, I'm here to help, right? And maybe the conversation wasn't about real estate, but that's okay, right? I'm a realtor, so of course I have to ask, who do you know is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Yeah, they're my friends. Why can't I make a check out of it? Right? But I'm also having conversations with them, real conversations, not just, who do you know? All right, so that is a very, very astute answer. So how do you feel about that answer? What do you guys get for that? How do you feel about that? Why agents don't do it?
I just think, I'd say most people have different life goals, so not everybody's the same. So I mean, you can't, everyone gets into this business for different reasons, so you can't expect everybody to be some cookie cutter agent. So I think
Yes. Yes.
that's what I.
And that is so true. And that's why you'll hear us talk about the fact that every time, I mean, when you're in real estate, there's about a million options of how you can generate business and how you can run your business. And like, it's a huge, and if you have shiny object syndrome, right, like you're all over the place. You're just like, let's try that, let's try that, let's try that, let's try that. A lot of you have a coach. The point of a coach is to take you and say, let's build a business Shaylin's way, right? And let's do our 1-3-5. Let's figure out what works for you and let's work that direction and not, let's avoid all the shiny objects, right? Like, let's stay focused on your goals and your business. And that's gonna look totally different than Marcus's business, right? Because that's gonna be business designed by Marcus. Does that make sense? And we wanna get clear on that. So yeah, 100%, cookie cutter does not work. That being said, if you read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I mean, real estate's been around for a lot of years, right? So we have a history. So we can look at the successful activities of agents and say, how come you all are successful? What are you doing that creates success? And the number one thing that comes up is they lead generate frequency, often, and it's in their schedule, right? So it's basics. Make sense to you guys? Awesome, love that. Okay, so now the big question, is your desire to succeed more powerful than your fear from doing the one thing that will make you successful? What you guys get for that?
I put yes, I don't have any fear unless it's subconscious and I'm unaware of it.
That's a great answer. That's a very good answer.
You know, it could be a hidden deep thing that you're like, no, I really want this, but the, you know, something.
Some fear of
Weird.
success or something.
Yeah.
I get that.
I laughed when you first said it out loud because I thought it was gonna be, is your desire to succeed more powerful than your fear of failing? And it doesn't say that. Your fear from doing the one thing that will make, that's an interesting way to put it, so it's just an interesting phrase of the question.
It is, isn't it? So, how many of you have read The One Thing? Okay, so have you guys heard of The One Thing?
You told us
Oh,
about
I'm like
it
obsessed with
last
One
time.
Thing. So The One Thing has a podcast, which you'll want to do, because after you read the book, you'll be like, I want more. Check out the podcast. So The One Thing was written by Gary Keller and Jay Popson. And it's amazing. So let me just tell you, I just told you your one thing as a real estate agent is lead generate. Like, you'll get all confused and spiral, and it's lead generate. That's your one thing as a real estate agent, right? That being said, that shifts as your business grows and you become, like, other things are happening, but that is number one. So a little story for you. It was Gary Keller's birthday. Everybody knows who Gary Keller is, correct? Okay, so it was Gary Keller's birthday, and they had a birthday cake for him. And they tried to give it to him at 10:30 in the morning. And Gary said, don't bother me, I'm lead generating. He lead generates every day from 9 to noon. Every day, no exception, don't bring me cake. Like, that's just, he's like, why would I tell you all this is what you need to be doing and not do it? And that's how he's built the business. Now he's lead generating for something a little bit different than what we're lead generating for at this point, for sure. But he still has his lead generation time. So just know that's the priority that we put on it, because that's what helps with the success. So when it says, and this goes back into the no's, right? So you're gonna get no's through real estate when you ask, you know, there's times I ask people, so who do you know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? And then I shut up, because that's my job, not say anything. And people go, oh, I don't know of anybody. Great, thanks for thinking about that, appreciate that, right? bug in their ear, right? Staying top of mind. That's your goal. Stay top of mind. Make sense? You guys understand top of mind? So, what do you think of when I say toothpaste?
Brush.
Toothpaste. What brand do you think of when I say toothpaste?
Colgate.
Was that the first one everybody thought of? Did you guys think of anything else? Okay.
Tom's
I come up with that one. It's usually third, even though like it's my preference, right? Like, let me ask you this: was the first one that came to your mind the one you actually use?
No.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So, car manufacturer.
Honda.
Okay, Cherish, do you drive a Toyota?
Yeah.
Okay, Christine, do you drive a Honda?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you guys came up with the one you actually drive. Sometimes people come up with a car that's different than the one they drive.
The one they want.
No,
It could be the one they want. Yeah, that's true, for sure. But those things stay top of mind with us, even if sometimes they're not our preferred brand, right? I'm a Sensodyne girl. I never come up with Sensodyne. I know my teeth hurt if I don't use that stuff, and yet I always come up with Colgate, Palmolive, Crest, and then I go to Tom's, and I'm like, oh yeah, how about the one I actually buy? But they don't stay top of mind with me, because for years I've been told the brands I've been told, right? So just think about that. All right. So is everyone's desire to succeed more powerful than your fear from doing the one thing won't make you successful?
Yes.
Is that a yes from everyone? Are there any hesitations? It's okay if there are, by the way. Okay, moving on. So, page 8, you're in business. So there's one thing that can propel you forward in your career. What is it? I just told you guys. Lead generation. You're gonna get sick of hearing it. All right, the secret is simple, and it is not a secret at all. It is lead generation. And you're gonna learn this skill and do a lot of it in this course. So get used to this winning reality quickly. Now, I don't wanna read everything, so Marcus, will you read the next?
You are in sales. Yes, sales. Your livelihood is dependent on the number of homes you help others buy or sell. Gary Keller, co-founder of the company, says you're actually in two businesses in this order. The business of lead generation, number 1, and number 2, the business of real estate.
Okay, so why would it be in that order?
Because you can't do business if you don't have leads.
Yes. Makes sense? If we don't lead generate, we don't have a real estate business to work on, right? Nice, like that. Hunter, would you read mindset and attitude matters?
Yeah, you may think that lead generation will be making phone calls that are bothering and annoying people. We all feel that way, especially when we feel like we're being sold to. However, when you adopt an attitude of contribution, a significant shift in how people respond happens.
True.
Change your mindset to focus on being of service. Adopting a mindset and philosophy of contributing to the lives of other people allows you to be direct and to the point in your interactions with others. With a focus on contribution and being of service, you'll communicate more effectively with customers and win their hearts and minds effortlessly. Energy, enthusiasm, and a deeply rooted belief in doing the best job possible for each and every customer attracts people to you. Take every opportunity to educate the people in your personal, professional, and social life about what you do and how you can help them. These reminders for people in your network can lead to many referrals for business.
Thank you. That is really true. So notice, we're talking about coming from contribution, right? So when you know somebody who owns a property, should you be the person who's sending them information on what their property is worth? Is that property possibly one of their largest assets of value?
Yes.
Is it kind of important that they know what that asset is doing financially? I mean, if you had stocks, you watch them, right? So who's to be the person that's informing them of what's going on with that asset? That's your job, right? Like, why would you not? Yeah, make sense? You show up in that way of like, hey, you've got this asset. Are you watching what's going on? Because I want to keep you informed of what's happening in your neighborhood. You should be knowing when things are selling and happening in your neighborhood. Yeah? Make sense? Yeah. I'm all about creating wealth for people. That's one of my missions, is to create wealth for people through equity in real estate. And that means keeping an eye on what's happening with your real estate, right? And you become the expert when you do that. Make sense? Does that sound like an annoying phone call? No, right? You're like, yeah, tell me what's happening, keep me informed. You just want to stay top of mind. All right. So, you chose Keller Williams as the vehicle to reach your goals. Ignite helps you build the momentum to get you there fast. All right. So we're gonna talk about the 6 personal perspectives. Have you guys ever heard of this before? Okay, so the 6 personal perspectives, and mind you, they are in order. It was funny, I was with the company for a while and everybody kept talking about these 6 personal perspectives and I didn't know they were in order for a reason, but they actually are in order for a reason. So we start with self-mastery. We work on the 80-20 principle, which we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about E to P, which is entrepreneurial to purposeful. We're gonna talk about being learning-based, no limiting beliefs, and being accountable. And that is actually the order that you wanna work on these. So if you notice, you've got mindset, attitudes, and approach to life. Did you see that those 3 circles would be pretty important? Right? All right, so we're gonna talk about 6 personal perspectives. So the most successful at this business know it takes a certain mindset and attitude to keep at it every day, and especially to excel. Fortunately, Keller Williams has a foundation model for a successful mindset, which came into existence when Gary Keller asked the question of hundreds of top agents. What is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? Good question, yeah? After thoroughly researching this question, Gary discovered that all high achievers have 3 basic attributes in common: mindset, attitudes, and approach to life. Based on these 3 attributes, the 6 personal perspectives came to be. So when I asked you if you heard about them, you said no. That's because you weren't with Keller Williams before. So you will hear about them a lot now. What I want you to do really quick is just mindset, attitude, and approach to life. Give yourself a rating 1 through 10 right there. 10 being I rock, I show up like exactly as I want to show up in that area of my life, right? Like my mindset is just so rock solid, it's awesome. Number 10. 1 being, whoa, Nelly, we need some serious help. Give yourself a rating on all 3 of those areas and just throw it into the circle. Mindset, attitude, and your approach to life. Don't think too long on that one. Okay. So just so you guys know, for every day you don't lead generate, 90 days later you can expect no money. You don't want this to happen. Why is that?
Because it takes 90 days to get through till escrow and closing.
Yeah, it usually takes 30 to 45 to get through escrow and closing, maybe as much as 60, and then the other 30 to 45 is generally finding the property for the client, getting them pre-approved, all that stuff, right? So that's how we can look at our business as cyclical. That's why it's really important that you track your activities. Like your coach is gonna ask you to track your activities and use the daily 10-4 tracker, because if you track what you're doing, 90 days later you're gonna see results or you're not gonna see results, and you're gonna be able to go back and go, oh, that's why, right? Make sense? Excellent. It's a great way to check out. All right. Hold on. Why is it here? This is the wrong, hold on. Something's wrong. Something's happening that's wrong. He's like, I don't know why that's wrong, but it is wrong. All right, let's go through I think I just passed it too fast. I was just going too fast. I do that sometimes. All right, so let's talk about the 6 personal perspectives. So we're going to start with step 1, which is commit to self-mastery. So self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. So did anybody when we were talking about mindset, did anybody give themselves a 9 or a 10? Did you? Excellent. What'd you give yourself, Shayla?
I gave myself a 9.
Very nice. Attitudes, anybody give themselves a 9 or 10? What'd you give yourself?
A 9.
Very nice. Approach to life. Anybody give themselves a 9 or a 10? Okay, so either way, nobody gave themselves a 10 in anything, so we all have things we want to work on, yeah. Okay, perfect, always room to improve. All right, so commit to self-mastery, the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. So when you commit to achieving self-mastery, you, number one, what? What does it say?
Know your goals.
Know your goals. That's what you were talking about when you were talking about the business, yes? Number 2,
Know your strengths and weaknesses.
know your strengths and weaknesses. Why is it important to know your weaknesses?
Avoid them.
Okay,
Put more time into them to become a strength.
you can strengthen them, yes. What else can you do?
Focus your business on your strength, that knowing that you're aware of your weaknesses, like when you
Yes,
build
you
your
can.
business.
And you can leverage out your weaknesses, right? Being aware of those things. Yeah. So I have a transaction coordinator. I'm terrible at timelines. Trust me. All right, so number 3, know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. So a lot of people will really focus on their weaknesses and try and bring them up to the level of their strengths, right? But wouldn't it be better if you work on your strengths and just get masterful? Yeah, so knowing the difference is important. All right, so through Ignite, you will be acquiring the skills and developing habits to be successful, moving you towards self-mastery. You guys good with that? That's good. Nice. All right, number 2, commit to the 80-20 principle. How many of you are familiar with the 80-20 principle? Yes. Not created by Keller Williams, just so you know. So the idea that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles you can apply in your life. It's about getting the most from your time and effort. It's about maximizing your results, and it's about having focus. In Ignite, we identify your 20% for you, your money-making activity. And what is that?
Lead generation.
Right. We also call it your one thing, right? So when you read the book, you guys will get it. For those of you who have, you know what I'm talking about. Excellent. So the 80-20 principle is also called the Pareto principle. And it's that concept, it's used in so many different ways. So 20% of the people do 80% of the work, right? You've probably heard that term before. Yeah. So it has to do with your activities. In real estate, it's so interesting how we can fill our time and be so busy all the time doing nothing that actually generates business. Right? And you laugh when you've been in the business for a while because you're like, you have seen that. You know, I gotta get this marketing piece absolutely perfect. No, you need to get on the phone and talk to people. That's not a good use of your time, right? Your coach is gonna help you focus on your time. One of the first things I say to people, you know, we talked about, what did we put on the board, $1 million in 5 years? You can make $1 million in 5 years if you do the right activities with your time. That's just reality. How you use your time is pretty much more important than anything because it's finite, right? We can't create more time in the day. I mean, you work till midnight, but who wants to do that, right? All right, step 3, move from E to P. So high achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through the ceiling of their natural behavior. Bob, will you read us that paragraph?
You can attain a certain level of success utilizing your natural abilities, but expect to hit a ceiling at some point. Wouldn't you like to achieve even greater success and break through that ceiling? How about living a larger life or attaining your goals?
Yes. Go ahead and read the next one for me.
Ignite is not only designed to help start your business, it is designed to help you grow your business. Ignite will help you move from entrepreneurial to purposeful with skill mastery.
Yes, it will. So entrepreneurial to purposeful. Do you guys understand the difference? If you don't, it's okay. I didn't for quite a while. This is the one that kind of stumped me. I was like, yeah, I'm not understanding the difference. Anybody else a little unclear on the difference between entrepreneurial and purposeful? Hunter, are you a little unclear?
Yeah.
Okay, so are any of you the kind of people that come up with a lot of really great ideas? See his man's going up. Like, I have solved so many problems in the world. I can't even tell you, right? So entrepreneurial is idea-based. Purposeful is when you sit down and you actually do the activities to create it to happen. I can't remember when it was, but I read something or heard something at some point, and it was like, everybody's got great ideas, but it's the implementation that makes the difference, right? So purposeful is being intentional. Entrepreneurial is following the shiny objects, right? It's looking at all the different things in real estate that I could be doing. Purposeful is going, I am focusing on these activities because these are the activities that are going to do, right? And I'm gonna follow them through and I'm gonna keep working on them and I'm gonna go deeper. That is purposeful. Does that make sense? Does that clarify it for everyone?
Yeah.
Is anyone still not clear? And the answer can be yes. We all kind of get it? Perfect. Okay, because that one's an important one. And for the longest time, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand. So, good. I want you guys all to understand that. All right, step number 4, make being learning-based the foundation of your action plan. So a learning-based individual is an individual who has made the decision to use effective learning as the foundation piece for their action plan to develop their life. Matthew, will you read the next paragraph for me?
Sure. Training and education are a big part of moving forward to attain your goals and succeed at a high level. Learning-based individuals commit to the process of acquiring skill-based habits. Ignite is just the start for you as a learning-based individual. Keller Williams Realty offers many learning opportunities for you.
Excellent. You guys think KW's got a little bit of offering for learning? Yeah, a little bit, right? A little bit. Okay. So this is where I like to add my little cautionary. So when you're brand new to the business and you're kind of in Ignite and you're learning all the new tech and you're kind of in it, right? The learning mode. That's okay to be going to classes every day. All right? 90 days later, we don't want you still going to class every single day. We want you working your business. And I'll tell you, you could go to class every single day at Keller Williams, because anytime we don't have something in the market center, you could be on Connect watching videos for hours, right? So you can learn, and just keep learning. We want to make sure that you can have that conversation with your coach if they're taking too many classes. Like, some of us are learning junkies, right? Like, I can get caught up in that. So, makes sense? We want to hit that point where we go, okay, basically you want to be doing at the most 1 class a week once you're out of your actual training. Does that make sense? So you're still learning, you're still adding, you're still getting information, but you're not overdoing it. Yes? Okay. All right, number 5, remove your limiting beliefs. So high achievers remove beliefs from their thinking that hold them back. Do you guys remember we were having a little bit of a conversation, for those of you that are here on Friday, about limiting beliefs? We were talking about monkey mind. Yeah? Imposter syndrome. You can't do that. Whatever. Those are limiting beliefs, right? Is everybody clear on what a limiting belief actually is? Anybody not clear? That's okay. If you're not exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Because we can clarify it. All right, awesome. So, in order to successfully develop at a higher level, you will need to clear your mind of limiting beliefs first. For example, are any of these thoughts in your head? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet.
No.
Christine.
I totally thought that, and then I was like, but then I went to go look at a property yesterday, and I was like, but I don't have my business cards, and I'm going with somebody, and then what if the other agent asks me questions, and I'm like, do I just go, hey, I'm a newbie, and I'm like, I don't want to tell them I'm new, and then I talked to like someone who's in the business, and they're like, yeah, do it, go get it, whatever. So, and I went and
Good.
yeah, it was fun.
And how did you feel when you were actually there?
Really good, because it was an unoccupied property, and
There you
so
go.
the
That always
agent didn't
helps.
even show up. He was just like, here's the lockbox number,
Yeah.
and I went around, and so that was like easy.
Fantastic.
But yeah, my whole thing was I wanted to go, and then I'm like, oh, but I don't have my business cards yet. He's gonna ask me questions, and he's gonna know I'm new or I'm dumb or
We were all new.
Yep, exactly.
yeah,
At one point.
yeah.
Exactly.
And I am telling you, remember the conversation we were having last week about like, I always greet a new agent like I totally know them. I'm like, oh, hey, Marcus, how are you? So good to see you. Like, if they're with their clients. I always
Yeah.
talk to them like, we totally know each other. We've done a deal. Like, the clients are like, oh, because I want him to do the same thing to me or anybody else from Keller Williams, right? Like, we all want to be helping each other feel more comfortable. And you will find, I found, because I had a very similar situation when I started on this island. It was like, gosh, you're brand new. I had some real estate experience, but still, you're new to the island, right? Am I going to be let in? Like, you hear all these stories. And everyone was so nice, and I got that. Like, I'm like, wow, they're talking to me like they totally know me, which makes me look better in front of my client, right? I mean, and I'm like, this is great, I love this. So let me ask you this, when you guys have had experiences like that where you're nervous about something, often when you then have the actual experience, not the one that you've worked through in your mind 20 times and built up this scenario about, but you have the actual experience and it's like way better than you thought, and you were like, what was I worried about?
Yeah, so many times.
Right? That's often what happens. It's just the conversation in our heads that screws us up. It's not the actual activity itself. Once you do the actual activity, you're like, well, that was easy. Right? I mean, it's amazing how many times our brain will just take it and work it into something, and you're almost like panicked. And then you go and you do it, and you're like, that was stupid. Why did I put myself through all that pain, right? So good. I'm glad you had that experience. And yeah, nobody was there, so you're like, okay, I look good. All right, so turning limiting beliefs into unlimiting beliefs. So how would you redirect negative thoughts into positive ones, into unlimiting beliefs that will fuel your success? So I want you to take those 3 sentences and I want you to recreate positive beliefs, the opposites of those sentences. Does that make sense? Right? So take the I have to be an expert, take the I don't think I can achieve, and take the because I'm in the business will come to me naturally. And then we'll talk about the other ones once we go through them. But I want you to take those beliefs and turn them into what we call unlimiting beliefs. When you finish, just make sure you look up at me, give me a smile. All right. So let's take the first one that we talked about. So I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. How can we turn that into an unlimiting belief?
Trial and error is how you remember forever.
That's a good one. I like that. Trial and error is how you remember forever. It's so true. I tell people about my experiences, but they don't learn from them, they have to go and have them on their own, I don't know what that's about. It's like parenting.
Yeah.
All right, who else came up with one?
I said I'm not an expert yet, but once I gain more experiences, I will be. You know,
Yes,
you have to go out there and do it.
yes,
Failure or success, and then
very nice.
Yeah.
Anybody else wanna share?
I said every interaction and circumstance allows for growth, and then I said I have KW backing me with questions I don't know yet.
Yes, absolutely. So those of you that are in productivity coaching, I think we did the math, and I think you have between Marion, Peony, Dan, and I about 30 years of experience in real estate. Might have even been more than that. So, look, Bob, you've been in the business for how long?
I've been an agent for 13 years.
And can you answer every single question that
Of course
anyone
not.
has?
No.
You will never have all the answers, right? But do you know where to go to get the
Yep.
answer? That's the key, right? So a lot of times your coach will be really annoying and go, so where do you find that? And you're gonna go, you! And they're gonna go, no, because I don't want to be the person that, I want you to be empowered to find the answer. That's the key. So one of the ones that they came up with, which I really like, is I need to be a professional, not an expert. Can you be a professional right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I need to be a professional, not an expert. All right, so let's talk about the second one. I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. Anybody ever thought anything like that before? Okay, so how do we switch that? I can.
The people I know are what will fund my life this year.
Well, I know what will fund my life this year. Yes, I might even add being of service to the people I know will fund my life this year. Right? Because I know you well enough to know that's your mentality, right? Being
Absolutely.
of service. I can show up in service. Yeah, 100%. Anybody else get anything?
I put my profit goal will be my motivation to fund my life this year.
Very nice, yes. So this says, when I set and track my goal and complete the activities required to meet my goal, I will fund my life this year. Right? It's all about what you're doing in the time allotted. So if you're doing the right activities, yeah, it'll work. Excellent. All right, the last one. Because I'm in business, the business will come to me naturally. I don't need to devote 3 hours each day to lead generation. Doesn't everybody I know by osmosis? I said it earlier, like, they all know, right? They're paying that close of attention to my life because they're not out there living their life. They watch my Facebook. They know I'm in real estate. They'll call me if they're going to sell their place. Yeah. Until you send the Christmas card next year and it comes back because their address has changed. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. When one person in your inner circle of 10 has a changed address and you didn't know it, whose fault is that? 100%.
I have a really hard time saying it's my fault, but it is.
Do you?
It is.
I
Yeah,
know.
because
And
it
that's okay.
pisses me off, when I do a lot of work in the community, and
You do?
and like at the theater and music and stuff, and when I see somebody that I thought I knew for a long time and I've known them for